My name is Madeline Jones. I'm a sophomore. I'm a Bachelor of Fine Arts acting major, business studies major with a musical theater minor. Well, last year they sent out a like a big type of like intro type of paper to all the minority students before attending Drake. And then last year at the beginning they have like this opening, just welcome to Drake type of thing. And then that's usually where you join. And, like as first year representative, I have to with all the incoming freshmen, I just try to make them like used to the transition of Drake. Also just trying to make them comfortable as being a minority student here and it being like 97% white here. So, well, I grew up in the South. I'm from Dallas, Texas. So my school was very diverse. It was pretty split down 30-30-30. So when I came up here, I got a full scholarship here. But when I came here, it was definitely a culture shock. I wasn't very used to being around just white people so much, but at the same time I grew up in a very diverse area, so it wasn't a problem. But I think for me it was an easier transition, but also being in the theater department, that was a huge issue because I was the only black girl in the department, so it was very hard that I felt that when I was going to get cast in many of my roles, I was only going to get those post-colonial, pre-colonial roles being made, and I guess that was a huge setback. I definitely got called the N-word multiple times last year, and this year I got called the N-word last week. Also dealing with racism here is very hard. You know, I have a lot of friends that are solely my friends just because I'm black. So they just want to be like, oh, I finally have a black friend. And, you know, it's scary to have people from the KKK saying that I'm going to attack you because you're trying to get an education. And I think that's a hard thing to do. I mean, last week on this campus, a man literally banged up my car and called me the N-word and then ran away. A lot of minority students, first of all, are already having struggles of going into college because there's so many stereotypes that are saying that we're not educated and that we don't want to get education. So it hurts when you see this stuff in the media, when people are people are getting killed, people are constantly getting discriminated just because they're clearly just trying to go to class and get an education and better themselves so they can come back to the community and help more people. When an issue happens, I mean, they automatically try to find the worst photo they can find of a person. And I think that they don't ever see them graduating from high school or graduating with honors. They show some hood photo that they probably took in middle school, which is your wannabe hood phase. I don't know why everyone could go through that, but they do. And I think that's and I'm just saying, well, what if I got murdered? How would you portray that? I understand that you can empathize with me, but you'll never understand the struggle of having to wake up every day and people are constantly telling you that you're black and that you will not be equivalent to your friend that happens to be white,
Black Lunch for DU as well, okay? So whenever you guys are tweeting about this, tweet Drake for Mizzou, Digital Democracy, and Black Lunch at DU. There we go.
I'm Brandy Dye, and I'm a Public Relations and Magazine Media major here at Drake. I wouldn't say it's misrepresented so much as underrepresented, and I think it's because of the fact there aren't a lot of young black women making the media, and I think that's a problem. You know, we hear the term newsmakers, not the people who are in the news, but who are creating it. And I think a lot of people who own news corporations are old white guys, and that's not me. And I think that's not a lot of my peers. So I think even when we are represented, it's not the entire picture. It's really hard to say what is and isn't newsworthy because people who are creating the news care not only about like their bottom line, but also about people who are like them. So I think it's important to get people who are the group you're trying to support working there. So if you're trying to cover young black people, hire some young black people. Not only like will they have those contacts, but like they're also going to have that passion. That's what matters to me kind of attitude. I've had to find groups who understand how much there is a difference. You know, generally I don't really notice it. Like, there's always times where you do, unfortunately. You know, the sociology professor who every semester drops the N-word in class. Sometimes there's a side look, and I just try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Try to play nice and hope everybody else plays nice, but at the same time, I'm aware of it. I think they're working really hard to make themselves visible. I think oftentimes it's easy to say, oh, well, they're a minority, and think of that very much as, oh, they're small in numbers. But I think presence is important. You know, they made Yahoo News at the Digital Democracy Conference for some demonstrations they did. You know, they were in the dining halls. So I think, you know, they took photos outside of Old Main, the administrative building. So I think making themselves visible is really part of it, and making sure that all the members, myself included, know what's going on so you can get involved and making it easy.
And I think it starts with like we need to have like a diversity of culture, like professor, or not professor, but like someone like that's in a hierarchy like on this campus to actually like make people feel welcome enough. I mean, like you can say like, yeah, we're diverse and you can sell diversity, but I mean, I feel like if you have a need that you have to put out an email saying looking for minorities, then maybe there's a diversity problem at the school.
I think hiring is really important, and of course you want whoever is the most qualified, but there are people of color who are super qualified. I don't even think necessarily they need to be black, but just seeing someone who's not a white person or an old white guy in that position of power kind of helps you see like, oh hey, there's somebody like me. They care about things that I care about. They understand what it's like to be in a predominantly white institution. And you believe them that much more when they say diversity matters.